Hello everyone, it is Sunday, July 10th, 2022, and I just got back from San Diego where I had to attend a family funeral. But while I was down there with my wife, we were able to hit a couple of comic shops, and I'm going to show you what I picked up there. And then I have a little bit of a rant as it relates to, pricing and grading at these shops, because I wasn't real impressed. Although I did pick up some books from one of them, the other one I did not. So I'll show you what I picked up this past Wednesday. Wasn't a whole lot of books. It was a real small week for me. And so I'll just show you what I picked up. The Closet, number 2. Really loving this storyline. We've talked about this title on this channel. It's really, really good. I'm looking forward to seeing it moving forward. It's only a 3-issue story, but I guarantee you they're going to expand it more than that. Next up, Spawn 331. Kind of a cool cover right there. I like that. From Ablaze Comics, 1313. See how this one is? I haven't had a chance to read this, obviously, with everything going on the last few days with me. Ghost Rider 4, cover purchase only, bondage cover right there. Thought that was a really cool looking cover, so I picked that one up. And then finally, not a title I usually get. I'm not a big Strange Academy person, but one of the shops that I attend said, hey, I saved you one of these B covers. It's a new character, so I picked it up just to put it away. There's that right there. Strange Academy number 18, the cover B. And believe it or not, that's all I picked up this week. Like I said, it was not a big week, and we had shown the Batman books for $125 the previous week. So like I stated, I was in San Diego attending to some family business, and I was able to stop at a couple of shops. One of the shops was in La Mesa. It's up, it's brand new. Real hard to find. It was really hard to find. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, and I can't find the business card. But it was located in the La Mesa area of San Diego, up around 70th Street, if any of you know San Diego like that. Once we found the shop, because there was no signage, it was just in kind of a little business center where they had, 2 or 3 levels of little shops, but nothing had signs on them. So you're kind of looking to see if you can find it. And once we went in there, it was just really cluttered. It was, packed. Stuff really wasn't in any type of particular order as it relates to, the Marvel DC stuff. Now, I understand that I do that at shows, but if you have a storefront, you don't do that for a storefront. You do that for shows, have people stage your tables and, dig through the boxes. If you have a storefront, the stuff should be in order, at least Marvel, DC, alphabetical order, because that's how you do it for a store. And again, shows are different. The idea of a show is to get people staying there as long as you can, because you're competing with so many other people inside the show. Storefront, you got to be more organized than that. The grading standards were really poor. You had really, really bad grading standards, and the prices were just astronomical. I found he had one book that was priced for $400, a Golden Age book, and then I was able to find that same book in better condition at another shop for like $35. So, I mean, again, unfortunately, everybody's kind of jumping on the collector bandwagon as it relates to older books, and just because it's old doesn't mean it's super expensive. So I didn't buy anything there at all, which was too bad, because again, like I said, the store owner was super, super nice. And, I wish I could have found something at a halfway decent price. I would have given him a little business, but unfortunately, really, really bad grading and pricing for his price points on some of his books. So the next shop we went to is probably one of the bigger shops in California, Southern California Comics. Really, really popular shop. It's been in San Diego a long time, located up in the Claremont Mesa area in a big warehouse. And he has a reputation. He's been around a long time. He's well known in Southern California. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff I picked up from him, and then a little rant after the fact there. So the first thing I picked up, no particular order on this. First one, Super Friends number 3. This is like an 8.5. This is World's Finest number 110, 1960, mid-grade 5.5. Welcome Back Kata number 1, 1976. This is a super high grade version of this, probably in the 9496 range. A really, really nice clean copy of this. Got this at a really good price. House of Secrets, number 94. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover, 4/5 on this. Looks real nice. Again, Mylar makes everything look good, so I picked this one up. House of Secrets, 97. This is a 6.0, a fine, but just a real cool looking cover. Again, I love these covers, and I don't care how many I have. These sell very, very well at shows because everybody wants, you know, the 70s horror, which we've discussed on this channel before. That, to me, that is the true golden age of the horror genre. Next up, I picked up a 100-page World's Finest, number 226, 1974. This is a 7.0. Got a good price on this one, too. Super Friends number 1, 1976, 9.0. Really nice copy. And I picked up another Super Friends number 1, 9.0. He had these in a bin that we'll talk about, but I got these at really, really good prices, so I'm not going to pass this up. I do like the Super Friends storyline, and I think it's a book that's really going to have a little up movement as we move down, you know, the line. And then again, I picked up another Welcome Back Kotter number 1. This was a 9.0 from 1976. I used to love that show. You know, you got John Travolta's character right here. You got Horse Shack. Just a really, really cool book. Remember watching the show, liking the show. And then that's what I picked up as it relates to more modern stuff from the 70s. This next stuff I picked up was a stack of Golden Age books. And I will show you what we got here. Let me make some room to put these back. First one up. Not everything is in great condition, but again, it's Golden Age, and you know, if you get it at a good price, you put it just to put it in boxes because people love to see the Golden Age books. First one up, After Dark, number 7, 1955. Very low grade. This is a pour, but for the price I got it at, I was just going to grab it anyways, put it in a piece of Mylar, throw it on the table, see what happens at shows. Next one, I was able to pick up a pretty good stack of this, again, at really, really good prices on this. This is Joe Palooka Monthly. This is issue number 52 from 1951. This is a 4.5 here. Here's number 54 from 51, 5.0. $19.50. This is number 43, 5.5. I just like that right there. He's giving that guy a punch right there. Again, super good prices on these here. Number 55 from 1951, another 5.5. You kind of see the pattern on the grades of these particular issues right here. Pick that up. But again, you're looking at pre-code. Anything pre-code is going to be really, really sought after. Even Joe Palooka, because there's a market for everything. Any type of title. Of course, everybody wants the superhero stuff. Everybody wants the EC horror or the bondage covers or things like that. But stuff like this sells too. Never a problem selling that stuff. Next up, All True Crime, number 49, 1952, 5.5. Crime Detective. This is number 2, volume 2. Grade, I gave it a 3.0. Has a little bit of a slight moisture damage on the front and back cover. But again, this is from 1950, and it still presents very, very well. But there is moisture damage, and you can only go the grades that, you know, you can give it on. This here, 1.5. This is Crime Detective Comics, number, do I have a number on this one, or I didn't write it down? Didn't write it down on this one here, but this is from 1948, and the cover's detached on this. This grade's a 1.5, but again, it's a book from 1948, and there's going to be a market for it, and you still get a fairly decent price for books like that. Next up, a really nice looking book here. Unfortunately, the centerfold is detached at the lower staple inside. This is Amazing Detective Cases, number 14 from Atlas, 1952. I graded it a 4.5 because it is a really, really nice looking book, with the exception of, like we discussed, the centerfold, which is attached at the lower staple only, but the cover and everything is attached. Really cool looking book right there. Presents very, very well. This is a kind of a classic cover right here. I got this at a price that I thought was pretty fair. This is The Thing, number 16 from 1954, 5.0. Everybody's seen that cover right there. The biggest issue with this book right here, you're going to have a little color breaking fold right there. Otherwise, the book looks really, really nice. It, presents very well. And again, that's kind of a very popular cover right there. Everybody sees that cover. That's from CDC Comics and 1954 5.0. Next up, lower grade 2.5. There is tape on the interior spine of this. This is Web of Evil, number 17. Nice book. But again, it's a 2.5. It's a lower grade. But again, there's people that, this is what you're finding on stuff like this. A lot of the horror covers, the horror storylines, you're not going to get great grades on that. And when you do, you pay, sometimes 3-4 times book price for that. So I was able to get these at a price that I thought was fair. So I was happy to get them in those low grades. Next up, Hero Comics, number 62 from 1950. This is an upper grade. I graded this a 7.0. It might grade a little bit higher. Really, really nice looking cover right there, helping the lady in distress. But again, for 1950, a really, really nice book and a nice upper grade on that. So I was very happy to get that. Next up, from 1952, this is Crime Must Pay the Penalty. This is Penalty Comics. This is number 28 from 1952. Presents really, really nice. It would have been a higher grade. You got a little, writing on the cover right there. But again, a really, really nice looking book. Guy getting thrown in the water. You can see the mobsters, got the weights on them. It's not going to end well for him. But again, a really nice book from 1952, another pre-code on that. Next one up is Adventures into the Unknown. This is number 25 from 1951. I graded this a 1.8. The cover is detached at the lower staple. And again, lower grade book, but a pre-code book. And you can see the little Frankenstein monster right there. Really, really cool cover. I was happy to get that. Again, if you do shows and you have books like this on your back wall, people are going to stop and look. This one here, 2.0 good. This is Adventures into Terror, number 22. I graded this a 2.0, 1953. You can see the missing piece right up here. But again, really cool looking cover. And, there's going to be people out there who collect these in any condition because they're getting harder and harder to find. Next one I found, this is not a pre-code. This is Impact Comics from EC. Number 2, I graded this a 6.5 from 1955, but just a cool cover right there. See the guy looking for the little boy, little boy's hiding. Thought that was really, really nice. And again, presents really, really well. It's a mid-grade from 1955, and it's an EC. So even though it's not the traditional EC horror, it's still an EC, technically a cool looking cover right there. So I got that there. The oldest book I picked up, this is Air Ace, number 12, volume 2 from 1945. Graded this a 7.0. 7.0, Air Ace, number 12 from 1945. That is an old book, and in that grade, you're not going to find a lot of them like that. So if you find an older book like that, especially from the 40s, that presents really well, is in really good condition at a really good price, you grab it. Next up, this is True Comics featuring True FBI Adventures. This is also a Jackie Robinson story in here. This is number 72 from 1948. I graded this a 6.5. Kind of a real big book there. You can kind of see a little bit. You have to be real careful when you fold it over because this is a little oversized. Harder to find things like that. Book that I picked up just because it was 1947 and it was really, really cheap. I got this. This is Ace Comics starring Blondie. This is number 122 from 1947. Graded this a 4.0. Cool looking cover right there. Again, book from the 40s. And the last book I picked up, I just put this one last because it just makes me laugh. This is King Comics, number 117, and a very early wimpy appearance. There's that skiing going down to the old hamburger stand there. I graded this a 3.0. This is from 1946. You got a little bit of a chew right there, but overall, you know, presents real well, but there's, you know, typical 3.0 grade. You have a little bit of staining. Again, this book is from 1946, just after World War II, and so you're going to have issues with that. So there's that. Those are the books I picked up at Southern California Comics, and the problem I had with Southern California Comics, again, first of all, the staff isn't the friendliest in the world. They just kind of sit there and watch, but when we walked in, I knew the owner was there because his car was there, and I walk in and, you know, I go to an area because I've been there before. I'm looking for, you know, kind of stuff like this that you find. And the first, he comes over, doesn't say hello or anything. First thing out of his mouth is, we don't give any discounts. Well, I wasn't asking for a discount. You know, I'm just looking for books. I didn't sit here and say, you're going to get a discount, you're going to do this. No, it's just, we don't give discounts. Okay, well, I looked around, I found some stuff. Another thing I didn't really like is, you know, the grading standard that he has, they really don't want you opening up the books and looking at it, because their concept is, well, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I've been grading a long time. My grades are at, you know, what they're supposed to be. And so you kind of are hesitant because if a person wants to look at a book, especially a Golden Age book, and you're talking about paying, you know, pretty good money for some of these books, you want to be able to look at the book. Even if you open the book and you showed me the book and you go through the books, you know, there was a couple of books that I wanted to get. You kind of go, you know, you kind of go in blind, not being able to open up a bunch of books. But you know what? You know, you take the chance and you do that. And if they give you good business, then you go back. And if they don't give you good business, you bite the bullet, you get your books, and you just don't go back. They had a large selection of books. There were some of the books, like the Joe Palooka books I told you about, and then a couple of these other books. They have areas that says discounted. There are these neon bright stickers, and the books, they price them right at the Overstreet, and they'll put stickers on there which is discounted that are 50% off the Overstreet. There weren't a lot of you're not going to get a lot of keys like that, but they had some Batman titles, you know, in lower grade that they had discounted. That Wimpy book was a discounted book. All those Joe Palookas were a discounted book. The Welcome Back Carter, the Super Friends, those were all 50% off discounted books on that. So I was very happy with those purchases. You know, there's a couple things you look at when I was doing that. Again, I'm a tougher grader than most people. I was able to get some grades on books, but I'm honest with my grading, because you know what? It's right there. The guide is right here. It tells you what's allowed and what's not allowed. And I wish more people who have done this for a long time, they're living off their reputation. Again, he's been around a long time, the owner of that company. He's a big time comic book person, especially in the Southern California area, and he's done his bones and he has a lot of knowledge. I just wish his grading would be a little bit more tighter on a lot of the things that I looked at. Things that he was grading, you know, fine, very fine, were more like, you know, VG plus, maybe, you know, VG fine. So his grades were a couple of grades off. And that's, you know, when people are spending good money, you'd like them to be more consistent. I don't mind, you know, an adjustment on a grade, half grade. But when you start talking, you know, 2 grades, 2.5 grades, there's a big difference in financials on those books. So again, I grabbed the books, I looked at them. I'm happy with my purchases. You know, I'm happy with my purchases on that. But again, I just wish, it's getting so hard to find good graders who own shops, because the way it is right now, there are so many people just trying to grab anything old. They'll just throw a price on this, $60, and then someone's going to come in and grab it because it's old. You'd be surprised. Well, a lot of you might not be surprised because you hear it all the time. You know, a guy grabs a book from the 40s, early 50s, especially pre-code. If you put pre-code in the title, and people are going to pay a premium for it, regardless of the grade, because you see a lot of books on eBay, you see a lot of books at the shows. I know a lot of you have made comments as it relates to that. You know, again, my grades are accurate. I don't have a lot of, you know, complaints with my grading standards. I haven't had hardly anybody come and say, hey, I don't agree with this grade, because I am a tough grader. And again, you know, CGC has gotten real loose with their grades. and a lot of these shops are loose with their grades. The only thing that kind of saved that is that Southern California Comics priced their books fair in the condition that they're in, unlike the first shop I went to, which was just horribly overpriced on their older books because they were old. He made that comment, well, they're old. Well, okay, that doesn't mean a whole lot when the cover's coming off and you're trying to get 4 times book for it. So there was that. Again, I'm going to be doing some shows coming up. The next show I'm going to do is August 27th. It is the Rainbow Library here, Cheyenne, and I believe it's Buffalo. I might be off on that. But again, it's the one-day show like we had a couple of months ago, which was on a Sunday. This one's going to be on a Saturday. Same time frame, though. You're going to be able to come out, take a look at the books. These will be out there if anybody wants to pick up, anything like this. And I'm tired because I've been doing a lot of driving the last few days. So I'm really, really tired. But again, if you have grading books, you need to use this. You need to use this. You need to use an OWL card. I've shown the OWL card. I don't know if I have it here close to me. It does not look like it, but those are things that you need to use. If you're grading, use the grading standards, okay? Use the grading standards. Some of you don't need to use the grading standards because you've been doing it for so long, so there's that. But again, I hope you like the books I picked up. I know a lot of you like to see the older books, and I showed a lot of older books. I did pick up a lot of, pre-code stuff. And again, a lot of that stuff was in lower condition. But again, you're not finding it. So if you can get it at a good price, even in low grade, just to have on your table or just to have, in the background or something in your collection if you're putting a run together, low grade isn't so bad in pre-code because pretty much that's all you're really going to find because, like I said, you have some heavy hitters who have big money who buy the higher grade stuff and they pay a high premium for that stuff. So, more power to them. So that's all we had today. This was the video. There's another video that's coming up next week because, of course, New Comic Book Day is Wednesday. But with that said, I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. If you think someone might like this channel, let them know about it. If you have a question, leave a comment. And leave a comment if you enjoyed this Golden Age, haul this week. So I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.